Hello, beautiful souls. So today I have Hecate with me, gorgeous, gorgeous goddess energy, and we are going to talk about boundaries, okay? I have been working closely with Hecate here for probably a week, maybe even more, and I'd say maybe 2 weeks here or so. But I'm still very, very new to her as an energy, as a goddess here, right? And she has transformed my personal power in a very, very short amount of time here, okay? And she's present with me today because I was doing some shadow work this morning, and I had actually called upon her because she has been highlighting things specifically for me. There has been situations that have been unfolding in my life, people, places, things coming towards me to highlight what I still need to look at, where I still need to step into my power, where I still need to see things, okay? It was 55 on my timestamp, okay? She's causing massive movement, massive changes in my own personal development, and I'm so, so grateful to her, okay? She's showing me a raven, and she's showing me spiders, okay? If you are seeing crows, ravens, spiders at this time, she's saying heavy spiders. She is actually reaching out to you, okay? And this is going to be in regards to boundaries. So, a little bit of a backstory on my personal experience that I want to share with you guys to enlighten you before we go ahead and channel here, okay? For the longest time, I have really been, on my own personal journey, right? And I've been working through abandonment wounds, rejection wounds, all that kind of stuff. And I have kind of been in line and connecting the dots in my life in regards to boundaries, setting healthy boundaries, self-love, and how that relates. So growing up, I was never taught healthy boundaries, right? And from childhood, this stems because in childhood, and many of you can resonate with this, we had to conform to conditional love, right? So if you didn't act a certain way, if you were outside of the box from what your parents or your caregivers, traditional thoughts were, you were then kind of pushed aside. You were made to conform into a certain, box here, right? Person as a whole, to fit 2 to 2 on my timestamp, whoever's needs or what they thought love was supposed to be. So basically, throughout my childhood, how everything unfolded for me, it was that I learned that I had to be a certain way to be able to receive love, okay? And how this translates into boundaries for me today is that I was afraid to have to set boundaries in life with people in fear of not being loved. And this totally transformed my whole outlook on value and respect. When we are more or less conformed to conditional love here, beautiful souls, it really takes away our authenticity, our own belief that we are lovable just as we are, okay? So if we do not meet this need of our caregivers or whoever programs us in this way, we feel that we are not lovable until we are in that position, until we are molded into that person that is able to receive love, okay? And the way that this correlates with boundaries here, and the way that Hecate had actually presented this to me today, was that if you set healthy boundaries and somebody is unable to respect them or see your value or your worth, then that person it's not that person is not able to kind of be in your life, but this is more of internalize this here, okay? You are allowed to set healthy boundaries. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to set certain, things in your life, and people must respect that. And that goes back towards yourself. Do you respect yourself enough? Do you have enough worth and value within yourself to set healthy boundaries and know that if you are setting a boundary with somebody, are they respecting the boundary, okay? And the way that this had really shifted my perspective was that I am allowed to set boundaries and I'm still lovable for doing so. And if there is people or places and things that do not respect my boundaries, then yes, it is okay for me to, it doesn't make me unlovable. I should not fear having to stand strong in my own being because I won't be loved, because I'm afraid that they're going to go away here, okay? Now this is definitely linked wound, also to an abandonment wound. Okay, we do not want to be abandoned, right? There's this underlying energy of just wanting to feel loved, and then so you're afraid to set boundaries with people because you just want to feel loved. And this stems back to us being conformed into this box, into this mold where we were conditionally loved. If you set healthy boundaries with people in your life and they are not able to respect it and adhere to it and honor your boundary here, then yes, maybe they're not meant to be in your life, because the people that will respect you and your boundaries will love you for and with or without that boundary. Do you see what I'm saying? Boundaries are very important. They keep peace within ourselves. They let us hold on to our own personal power here, okay? And I think it's really, really important that, you know, Hecate is really showing this to us here, because she wants us to know that we are lovable, we are powerful for who we are, and our boundaries should always be respected. On my own personal journey, this is a huge revelation for me, because I have always conformed to other people's needs. I have always gone above and beyond to people please, to make sure that people felt wanted and loved, because when I reflect that back, that's all I wanted, was to feel loved and to feel seen and to feel heard, right? But now I'm coming into this space where I deserve peace, I deserve respect, right? And if I set a healthy boundary, I expect it to be met here, right? And I'm allowed to set that boundary. And I think she's coming forward here wanting to channel this, you know, when I sat down today, I really wanted to talk about boundaries. I called upon her. She's here with me, you know, basically saying yes to this. You know, let's talk about this thing in society here. Because I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one who has had to drop their own morals, who has had to let go of their own values, their maybe even sometimes self-respect and self-love, just to feel that their own needs are being met. We conform to other people's needs so we can feel needed, so we can feel loved and wanted. And this is a huge revelation, because at the end of the day, I should not fear being abandoned because of a boundary that I set. I am so loved and I love myself so much that I am trusting myself to know that the right people will respect my boundaries, and the right people will still want to be in my life and love me for my boundaries that I've set. This is where this shift in perspective comes. This is where this personal power that we need to tap into. That if people are going to continue to cross a line, or if you feel uncomfortable doing something, you are allowed to say no. And if that person gets mad, that's their issue. You are allowed to have that boundary. And I think in society that has just gone out of the window, because we're all craving love. We're all craving attention. We don't want to be left behind. We want to feel loved, right? And again, this all stems back from childhood, okay? So if you are resonating with this story, which I know a majority of people are, we've been conditioned to love, you guys, and a majority of people do not know healthy boundaries in this world, to say no when they want to say no, to be able to stand up for their own personal truth and know that if somebody is going to be in your life, they need to respect your boundaries here, okay? And you're allowed to have the boundaries. And I think in society, for some reason, it's like boundaries are like voodoo. Like, why do people say no? As if it's a bad thing. It's taboo to tell somebody no. I mean, of course, there's, you know, that fine line there. You know, there are people here in this world that truly, you know, have strong boundaries and things of that sort. But for me, on my own personal path, I grew up being conditioned for love. So going into life as an adult, there's an underlying fear that if I tell people, you know, certain things, like where I put a boundary up, I'm afraid that they're not going to love me because of it. And that's very, very limited belief. That's a huge, massive illusion here that we need to break down. That boundaries are healthy, that boundaries are good, that boundaries allow us the permission to protect ourselves. And it's a protection of peace and sovereignty and value and worth for ourselves. It's not selfish. It's healthy and it's empowering. So let's check in. I want to do a short reading here, okay? On the bottom of the deck, heart, home, compassion, okay? You know, and compassion is a very, very big thing for me because I have such a mother archetype in this world. That is my essence. I'm extremely compassionate, extremely nurturing, and sometimes that can get taken advantage of. And I think that's why Hecate and, you know, my teams and have really been, you know, connecting the dots for me here recently, showing me what healthy boundaries are, what healthy boundaries mean, okay? Because it's very important that we have compassion, we have empathy with people, right? But it's also very important that we protect our hearts in that sense, okay? Now, I'm not saying to go off and block your heart. I'm saying that if somebody is doing something that you are not okay with, that is taking you away from your own power, there needs to be a boundary, okay? Look at, it's the disowned self, right? We all were conditioned to love. We were all torn away from our inner truth growing up. So now all we long for is validation and love that we don't have within ourselves. Okay, and that is such an important reason for us to get on this path of healing here, beautiful souls, to recognize who we are, the value that we hold, the power that we have. Okay, I'm hearing like we're all running around with like headless chickens with like our heads cut off here, okay? We are disconnected, and I've spoken on this before recently, and it's a very heavy energy when Hecate comes around because she sees that we are disconnected from ourselves. She is here to empower us, to shine the light on our shadow selves where we are disconnected. And I think that it's really, really important that when people start coming back to themselves, to remember the importance of coming home to yourself. Okay, movement towards adventure. So my beautiful angels, spirit guides, ancestors, the highest white light, and decree only, my beautiful higher self, archangels, and Hecate, thank you so much for your beautiful presence. Let's talk to my beautiful viewer about boundaries. What do you want to tell them about boundaries? What do we need to know about boundaries? Let's start getting some really clear messages on boundaries here. Okay, it's the universe is your partner. So just showing us that, you know, they are a part of us. They're showing us the disempowerment that we've been feeling in our life because we don't have boundaries here. Look at, it's a lost compass. We need to get back to integrity. We need to set the boundaries for our own integrity, for our own value, our own worth. Okay, dignity. It's dignity. Okay. The universe is here helping us, okay? These higher deities are here, shining the light, putting this in our hands here, beautiful souls, putting this knowledge right in the palm of our hand to bring us back to integrity, to light up this compass in our life. Where are your values? Where are your morals? Are you aligned with them? Because morals and values are going to align here with boundaries, right? If you do not know what values are, what morals and standards you hold for yourself, how are you able to set that boundary? That's coming back to ourselves. We're disowned from ourselves, skywriting the fates. One more here, please. Getting back to integrity. It's so, so important. And it's funny because this card is also like a clock, okay? It's time. Time here. Look it, we have to close that door. We have to complete that cycle here, beautiful souls, of being disconnected from ourselves, from not having the boundaries here. Okay, whale song on the bottom, from being in this bubble of our emotions, and it's kind of like this energy of like, many of us are afraid to stand up for ourselves, and I can absolutely resonate with that energy. It's still something, 222 on my timestamp, that I'm going through, to fully stand up for myself in the moment. And it's because I do not want to be rejected, you guys. It's rejection, it's abandonment. We fear saying no or standing up to our truth or setting a healthy boundary because we do not want to be rejected. We do not want to feel unlovable. We are willing and able to overextend ourselves because we just want that love. Page of Cups. Let's go ahead and tap in. The universe is your partner, getting back to integrity and closing this door. So what can we tell my beautiful viewer here, my beautiful, beautiful. Okay, this is the Seven of Wands with the Seven of Swords and the Chariot. Five of Pentacles and the Page of Cups here. Okay, so this is a lot of distraught energy coming off the bat. Okay, it's kind of like, we're all in this like mind frame that we are protecting ourselves by living a life of running from things here. Okay, it's like now I'm hearing you need to run towards this. You need to run towards this. Okay, because look at, here's the abandonment, here's the isolation, you know, here's the sadness of feeling alone. But you know, we did this because we're protecting ourselves, right? We were conditioned to love here, beautiful souls, and it is harming us. It is putting us in this deceitful, painful energy. A lot of us are in pain, okay? A lot of us are in pain, really feeling that we're not worthy, that we're not enough, okay? We're feeling really alone. We've abandoned ourselves here, okay? It's time to overcome. It's time to overcome this, okay? It's time to overcome. And I'm really attracted to the tiger. They're very fierce animals, right? Forthright in their purpose. You know, standing up for themselves, right? Really standing their ground, all right? I'm getting that from the Seven of Wands as well. To stand our ground to the deceit, to the lies, to the things that we know do not hold value to us, that are not along our moral compass, that are not leading us back to integrity. If something does not align with you, you are allowed to say no. But it's the fear of this rejection. It's the fear, right? This is impulsivity. This is us being very impulsive in life, where we're so used to having our walls up in a certain manner that we've dropped our moral compass here. Our moral compass, it doesn't exist, and so then we live a life very flighty, fleeting. It's a fleeting energy here, okay? And all it's doing is continuing to show us how we are abandoning ourselves. It's showing us how we're continuing to reject ourselves, our own values, our own morals. It's like a moral compass here. It's a major moral compass that they're showing me, okay? And it's definitely aligns with boundaries. If you do not know what your integrity, what is integrity to you, what is dignity, what is valuable to you, where is your moral compass aligned to? If you do not know, how can you set a healthy boundary? I'm getting this energy that many of us sit and yeah, see, we kind of like sit like we're waiting for our ships to come in. We're very much in our head. We're very much, you know, how am I going to it's like we all want to be met with love, and when we're not, we feel abandoned, right? And you know, this you know, shadow work that I had done today really showed me that it's a shift in perspective, right? That if I have to put up boundaries with people, if they are not able to respect my boundary, like I said this in like one of the first parts, then it should not make me feel less than. That is that other person not being able to respect or value somebody's values. Look at values and traditions here, okay? This is, yeah, see I'm getting flighty energy here in partnerships, okay? All of the people in our community, all of the people that we have, you know, been surrounded by for our entire life. Integrity. I just keep hearing integrity here. Extraordinary. So my beautiful angels, spirit guides, ancestors, the highest light and decree only, can we close out this message, please? How can we help my beautiful viewer understand why setting boundaries is important? Why is setting boundaries and learning what your true moral compass is, and why that's important in life? To take the right action through grief, okay? Because when we do not set healthy boundaries here, beautiful souls, when we do not know what our own inner value is, our own inner worth here, okay? We're living a life of grief. And then when we don't have a healthy boundary set up, we actually end up with more grief. We're sad. We're not aligned. We're not aligned with ourselves. We are overgiving. We are people pleasing to meet somebody else's needs. But then at the end of the day, your boundary is being crossed. So that means that your need is not being met, right? Your need and your want is not being met. That's why it's very, very important to come back to yourself here. This moral compass, 222 on my timestamp. Tears are what happen when the ice in the heart melts, okay? Let everything that wants to go, go, and everything that wants to come, come, okay? Exactly, you guys. This is totally aligned with the boundary energy. If somebody cannot respect your boundary, a personal boundary that you have up, then let them go. That does not mean that you are less of a person. That does not mean that you are not lovable. That does not mean that you are not worthy of somebody's love and attention. That just means that you love yourself more, that you respect yourself more. And the people that come into your life and respect your boundaries, that's how you're going to know that those people have a moral compass very similar to yours, where your values align. And setting boundaries, honestly, in my personal experience, guys, has not been easy. I have been a people pleaser for as long as I can remember, because I want to feel loved. I want to feel loved. And I am getting to a place of such empowerment and recognizing I actually love myself more than putting myself on the line to meet somebody else's need that then later turns into grief for me. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to me anymore. And that's where we need to come into. Look at freedom. Boundaries are freedom. Freedom from grief. Freedom from allowing other people to come into our space, take what they need, give nothing back, right? And leave us grief-stricken. Boundaries are very, very important here, and boundaries are out the window around here. And it really, really goes back to childhood. We were all conditioned to love. So if you were placed in a certain box, you have to be this way, this way, this way. You have to say this, that, and this to be loved. Of course, you disconnected from yourself. You had to allow what the people around you were showing you is lovable for you to feel loved. Because you didn't want to be rejected. You didn't want to be abandoned. As a child, we were so vulnerable. If we get rejected as children, that follows us our entire life until we look at it, till we rewrite it. It is subconsciously, unconsciously, deeply, deeply ingrained, guys. That's why I'm here. Because I'm working with these beautiful deities. I'm working on myself constantly to share this information with you guys, to enlighten people. Because if we all have this one wound, it all comes from the same place, okay? Everybody's story is going to be different, of course, but there's always that one seed that was planted and rooted. That's the one root, the deep, deep unconscious root. There's actually this workbook, inner workbook, that's been going around TikTok here pretty virally, and it literally speaks of the same thing. It's all unconscious. All of our wounds of inadequacy, of judgment, of rejection, of all of those types of things, they all come from one place. That's how it works with that kind of stuff, guys. I no longer want this fiery ring of resentment to block the good. Release me from its bounds, okay? So we have to recognize that when we do not have healthy boundaries set, guys, we are allowing ourselves to be filtered through with grief. It turns into resentment and anger, right? Because you as yourself didn't set that boundary, and it reflects it back to you. Because then these people, that whatever happened, whatever your situations be, you can never see or talk to them again, and now you're stuck with the pain of the choice that you made because of the boundary that didn't exist, right? And I know that this is probably very, very triggering, okay, you guys? And I know that sometimes the things that I say are very hard to hear, but I know the ones that are comprehending this, that are here and understanding and appreciating this message, it's because you value to know the root causes of things. You are intrigued and interested in understanding why, okay? How you can rewrite your own life, your own psyche here. To awaken, to set yourself free from all of these constraints that we have in life. To allow radical acceptance means to say yes to reality in any given moment, so what's needed next can come next, okay? Which is divine abundance. So again, it's like when you set healthy boundaries, guys, you are allowing acceptance of your current reality, okay? I don't like this. Stop. I'm getting a huge ringing in my left ear, my right ear. That's my masculine side. Spread your wings. I'm getting some solar plexus energy here. This is about our personal power. Again, this is about our confidence here, you guys. About being able to accept what's happening in our current moment and have the confidence, the bravery, the courage to speak up for ourselves, to set the boundary, to allow ourselves to take action for what is right in our life. That's aligned with our moral compass here, you guys. Okay? To get us out of this delusion and to go with the flow is 222 on my timestamp. Intention without surrender can be a fast path to delusion. We've become delusional in this world, more or less, guys, and we need to clear it out, okay? We need to clear this illusion of standing back in our own lives, okay? Yes, it's very important to be an observer, but it's also very important to be the person that takes action for yourself. Nobody is going to do it but you. You have to stand up, beautiful souls. It's you. I'm going to get one closing message here from Hecate because I really appreciate her energy here, okay? She's really showing us, I just saw, like, I got attracted, it says kindness matters, okay? So remember how we started off here with compassion, all right? This is not being mean. This is not being vengeful in your boundaries. This is about, this is my ley line, guys, okay? This is my ley line, and you need to respect it, okay? And do not fear feeling that if you set a boundary, you're not going to be loved. Because the right person or the right people that are meant to love you are going to love you and your boundaries, as I said before. That's where the perspective shift needs to come in, okay? And always remember that anything anybody ever speaks to you or reflects back to you is them projecting. It is not you. Everything is a reflection and a projection here, beautiful souls, all right? Once you come to terms with that, that's a huge game changer, okay? Wailing tree, reconciliation, to come back. We're crying for ourselves here, guys. We're crying for ourselves to come back into line with our moral compass. So, Hecate, would you like one closing message here for my beautiful viewer? If this is your first time here, I know this is the end of the message. Welcome to Path to Temperance. My name is Angela. I'm an intuitive healer, channel, and energy reader. And my purpose here, beautiful souls, is to get our gears moving, to bring the unconscious to the conscious, to wake us up, okay? So I'm an activator. I'm an ascension guide here, okay? So if you feel so called to my energy, please do make sure to follow. And I definitely give out messages like this regularly because I'm constantly evolving and I'm constantly receiving new downloads on what to share with the collective to open our eyes, to drop the veil, to break through the illusions, to crash down these limiting beliefs and really set ourselves free here, okay? The resonating, the whale song came back on the bottom, okay? So that might be very resonant for you. Maybe many of you guys need to really tap into your emotions here. Where are you living in a bubble? What are you resonating with that it's like resonate with yourself? Put yourself in this bubble. What do you accept and what do you not accept? And set that firm boundary. They're healthy, guys. They're healthy, especially in the community. The power of the community. That's where the boundaries are most important. The people you are surrounded by. Do not let them take from you. Take your power away. Make you feel guilty or shameful or grief-stricken for allowing yourself freedom from their own wrath because they can't respect or value your boundary. Okay? It's the power of the community that's going to set you free, to make you stand in your truth here. Okay? So let me know how this message resonated for you. If you'd like to book a personal, visit my link in the description box. And until next time, beautiful souls, love and light to you. Set those boundaries.